Thanks for tuning in to Bitches Be Cray. Just a quick reminder, everything we share on this show reflects our personal experiences and what's worked for us. We're not healthcare professionals, so if you or someone you know is dealing with a medical or mental health concern, please reach out to a qualified professional for support. What's up, bitches? Welcome to Bitches Be Cray. I'm Amanda.
And I'm Nancy. And today we're going to be talking about red flags in relationships. Well, I could say, I guess, our opinion of a red flag.
Yeah, for sure. Because just because it's been something either we've done or we've experienced doesn't mean it's a red flag for everyone. But in our situations,
Oh, definitely. I think
they were.
I think these are most people's red flags.
I would say so too. But
most people our ages, not young people. Young people are still doing dumb shit.
Yeah, they have their own red flags. I'm sure there's so many.
Like, he uses a blinker. I heard that one on TikTok one time.
No way.
Yeah, it was an ick because he used a blinker.
Oh my gosh, there's things safe. Come on, people.
Use a blinker.
Anyway, alrighty. So the first one is isolation. If someone is isolating you from your friends, from your family, and this one is one that I know Nancy and I are both guilty of when we were teenagers. And, I was thinking about this actually as I was lying in bed last night, not able to sleep, and thinking about this episode. I think it's because this is like from my inner child stuff. I really just wanted someone's time and attention. And I felt like I didn't get as much as I wanted from my parents, especially after my younger brother was born. So I was always seeking for someone to give that all to me. Mm-hmm. So I think I felt like, well,
look at me, mommy, look at me.
Yeah, exactly.
Look what I can do.
Mm-hmm. And if my boyfriend was giving his friends attention, his family attention, all that good healthy stuff,
normal shit,
I didn't feel like there was enough for me. And I think that's why I was isolating my high school boyfriend.
I isolated him to the point that I made him quit his soccer team. He was not allowed to go to Mexico with his family anymore. He was voted most attractive boy in school every year in high school, and I did not let him go to the dance and take his little throne. He was sweetheart king.
So what happens if someone doesn't show up to that? Do they give it to someone else, or he just gets it and he just doesn't get the recognition?
He just didn't go. He got it, but he just never went to any of the dances, never did any of the things. And I literally robbed that man of that.
Did he care?
Yes.
Oh, he did.
Of course he did.
Well,
come on.
I mean, yeah, you would think that'd be a good ego boost and you'd care, but some people might be like, eh.
I think he cared. I don't think he cared about the recognition. I think he was upset that I took it away from him.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I didn't want him to talk to anybody. I didn't want him to have any friends. I just wanted him. Like, I think it's the same now looking back. I think it's what you said. I was afraid if I let him choose, he wouldn't choose me.
Yeah, no, yes, 100%.
Yeah.
I felt that. And you know what I think made my situation just slightly more intense was that the high school boyfriend I did this with, he also, he knew my family before I knew them because he used to more hang out. So he knew my younger brother and they like to go fishing together and that type of thing. So then again, I'd already had these feelings about people choosing my brother over me. And then lo and behold, sometimes he's like, oh yeah, I just want to go fishing with your brother. And I'm like, no, we're going to the movies. So yeah, definitely.
Like, you're mine.
In terms of have I had someone isolate me, I think my second boyfriend suggested here and there, oh, you shouldn't go hang out with so-and-so. You probably you were one of them. You shouldn't be friends with so-and-so, that kind of thing. But not to the point of it was quote unquote what I'll call enforced.
I think my second person isolated me very strategically and better than anyone could ever.
Oh.
Because he never could say when we were going to hang out. So I would not do anything, just waiting for him to hang out with me.
Okay.
Because sometimes I would go out and do things, and then he would be like, you want to do this? And then I would already be doing something other. So I would just not do anything. And until later on, and then I just started living my life. I was like, fuck you.
But that's a good point, though. And I think that might have happened to me some too, and I never even considered it. But because those were both our long distance relationships,
Yeah.
if they finally wanted to see you, you hadn't seen them in a while, like you're gonna drop your friends.
Yeah,
so you're right. I didn't think about that.
He did it really good. Like I was just,
Dang.
and then he would be like, and sometimes I think that when I was hanging out with someone, he would just ask. He didn't really want to hang out with me. He just would ask. So I was like, oh, I guess we would, but you're doing that.
Oh,
you know.
No.
And
like,
then
trying to make you feel bad about having a life outside of him.
So then later, I just
God.
stopped. Looking back on my time in ATL, I didn't really even go out and make friends or do much because I was just sitting around waiting for him to want to hang out with me.
Oh, that's horrible, but yeah,
that's well special.
All right, another one, lack of goals or ambition. And one of my exes would have said I was guilty of this because at the time I was like working in the mall and like really there's nothing wrong with that, but I wasn't.
You were a preteen.
Yeah.
I mean, a later teen. Well, not a preteen. What is it?
I started there. Well, I started there at 18, 19.
You were later. You were 20.
I think I was about 20 when this.
It up.
Yeah, when this conversation happened, I was about 20.
Yeah.
And I didn't go to college right away. Not that you have to go to college to be successful either. But I think for him in the moment, he was in college and he was like trying to get his stuff together because he lived with his parents. I lived with mine. And, you know, all that good stuff. And he just wanted me to kind of be on his level with like bettering myself, if you will, because it wasn't like I was trying to move up in the store and be the manager, and like I wasn't going to be able to afford to live anywhere on the.
You know, let me be devil's advocate.
Yeah,
you have to thank him for.
Oh, and him, sure, he also.
But I feel like
no, because definitely
maybe think that was his purpose in your life.
Maybe it was because definitely it made me feel like it made me think about stuff.
He pushed you in the right way.
Right. No, yeah. Because I was thinking at the time like, oh, you know, I never thought I was going to stay at the shoe store forever. I wanted to work either I wanted to work like in a pediatric doctor's office, actually, like not as someone who did anything important, just the person who like checked you in, like the office manager.
$10 an hour.
Yeah, that was my.
There's nothing wrong with that guy. Sorry.
No, yeah, but that was. I mean, that's not enough by yourself to live on though. But that's what, like, to me that was going to be the next step up. I'm like, that'll be better than the like $750 I'm making at the shoe store. But the problem was around that time was the recession there, and you know, we're from that small town. There were not extra jobs going around over there for that kind of stuff. So I think for me, I just kind of halted because I'm like, oh, I felt like there were no other opportunities except for when we worked at the call center, and that was better money, but that was miserable. So that wasn't worth it either. But yes, because of that, it did push me to kind of figure out my next step. And I did start college, and good things happened because of that. For sure. But now on the other end of that, if you're that made me have perspective later when I dated someone and like they just did not feel like they had, I mean, maybe they did have goals and ambition, they just didn't tell me, but they were letting a friend, basically, like we had a mutual friend, this older gay gentleman, and the guy was dating, to my knowledge he wasn't into guys, but that older gentleman friend of ours was like helping him pay for stuff. I think he even,
the older gentleman was helping pay for the dudes, or the straight dude was helping your boyfriend.
The older gay gentleman was helping.
How did I miss this?
I don't know.
This is gay for pay.
Gay for pay. Well, I think the older.
There's nothing wrong with that though.
No, but I think.
But that's what was happening.
The older gay gentleman, we called him Dad because he was quite a bit older, and I think he had a live-in boyfriend though.
You mean Daddy?
No, just Dad.
Oh, okay.
Just Dad.
That's what probably what you call him. But that's not what he called him.
Well, you know, you're probably right.
Yeah.
But I mean, because you know, he was a handsome guy. You don't
have to be handsome to be Dad.
No, I'm just saying. No. I'm saying the boy.
I know he was handsome. I was there.
But like he did, like he had a vehicle. It was a really old truck. Nothing wrong with a old truck, but it was not reliable. So he ended up losing his job, and he just didn't seem very motivated to get another one because somebody was. Yeah, exactly. So that was like a red flag for me because like he was a little bit older than me already, and I was still in college. It was just like. Eventually, like you're gonna need to work on getting stuff together, and he did not seem to be heading in that direction.
I feel like I'm also guilty. I feel like I'm guilty of the ambition thing right now.
Do you?
I do.
Did you feel like you want to be doing something different or more?
I mean, I feel like I have tons of ambition. I just have no follow through because I have all this trauma that I'm working on it. But I do feel like I've never dated anybody that doesn't have ambition. Like my first boyfriend has a chain of restaurants,
Yeah.
so he's rich. And my second ex, he's also very successful and has, he's a world traveler and all that. So if you really think about it, I'm the loser here.
Well, but you said something important because you literally had a business in mind.
So many.
And but one you even got a business license
I
for.
know.
You had a space for it. You were working on like getting some like education, some certification for it. But you said like the follow through. And I think, I feel like there was and has been a lot going on in your life that there's been other things you've had to prioritize. Like you said, you're working on it, like your own trauma, your own healing, and you just haven't been ready.
I feel like until I can believe in myself, it's just not gonna happen.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm working on it. I'm getting there, but so I feel like I do have ambition. I do want all those things. I do. I mean, but I have a great life. Like I have a nice home. I have a nice car. I have a nice life.
Yeah.
I mean, in comparison to where we were 10 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, come on, Jesus Christ. But
we're like rich at this point.
I literally were like living the dream. Like, why aren't we happy yet?
Yeah, right.
But I do feel like at this point in my life, I could not be with someone who doesn't want more. And not even just financially, but like just period. Like who's just like
your health.
Yeah,
I mean that can be your health. Like
everything.
Like I think I had that issue when I started taking care of like how much I move my body, and then I really wanted my husband to do the same.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and he wasn't into it yet. Now he walks every single day. He does his walk every single day. But like that bothered me because when you're working on yourself, whether it's education, whether it's health, whether it's anything, you want somebody else who cares enough about themselves to do it too.
You do. And I think the next one ties into it, work ethic.
Yeah. I feel like that's, I mean, it's, some of these are turnoffs and red flags, but I mean, if someone's not willing to put, like to do their job and take care of themselves, how are they possibly going to take care of you?
As you should, motherfucker.
Yeah.
As you should.
Right.
I've been working since I was 12 years old.
Yeah.
So it's just very important to me.
Right. Yeah. And I think, both of my parents worked growing up. Both of yours did as well.
Yeah.
I saw my parents do their day job. I saw my dad do like extra jobs on the side. Like it was just very ingrained in me. Like
his dad sold Avon.
Yeah, he did with his sister. Him and his sister sold Avon. My dad used to mow the cemetery next door, and he used to have like all kinds of equipment like backhoes and bulldozers. And with his brother-in-law, they would go do stuff. So he literally go do his day job. He would do that, and he was still home for dinner like every day.
Aww.
So yeah, you gotta like. I need to see you working hard, or where it's because if you're not working hard for you, you're not gonna work hard for me, and not just like about money, but like if you're not willing to put work into your own job, you're not gonna put work into this.
I hate people that don't show up to work either.
Oh yeah,
or like show up
call out.
Like no, I mean I understand if you have you need self care. I get that,
but like on a frequent, consistent,
basis, bro.
Yeah.
Like there's always an excuse or the typical dude that can't find a job.
Yeah.
He's looking. There's females like that too, so sorry.
Yeah. But we haven't, but the thing is, because we're thinking of this from the perspective of people we've dated, and we haven't dated any ladies.
No, not yet.
Not yet. We're still young. Who knows?
We're still
Who knows? Okay, so the next one is like their family relationships. And specifically, I think we're talking about mama's boys.
Oh my God, I have a story.
All right, go ahead.
So, I'm recently engaged. Not engaged, but engaging in a relationship.
Right.
I just found out that he might be a mama's boy.
No way.
His mom texts him good morning, good night every day.
See, I want to say, oh, that's sweet.
No, it's not. It's red flag.
But it's a little much.
I told him last night. I was like, first red flag. I was like, I wish you would have known. I mean, first red flag in 2 months is not that bad.
Yeah.
I was like, I wish you would have told me this prior. And apparently, if he doesn't answer, she freaks out
and thinks he's like dead.
Yeah.
Okay. So she has some issues she needs to work on, as well.
I mean, yeah.
Like check in with your kids' care, but like and I'll bring this up in another episode because we're going to do one about parenting. But recently my teenage son moved in with his mom. He's lived with us since he was 7, and now he's moved in with his mom. He's 15. And like he's 15, right? He's been living with me all these years. I only write him twice a week because I don't want to like be like I'm up here, but like that seems reasonable. Every day is as a grown man.
Good morning and good night. And this morning I was like, is that your mama saying good morning?
He's like, well, it sure is.
I was like, I don't know what the fuck to think.
Yeah, but I mean, even just outside of mama's boys, just like your family relationship is so important. Like I'm thinking of my ex. He didn't have a good. He didn't like have a lot of time with his dad when he was young, but at the time we started dating, he had just moved in with his dad.
Oh yeah.
But you could just feel like there was always tension. Like,
oh my god, even with his mom.
Well, yeah. Well, his
mom was gross.
His mom was still like living her teenage years.
Yeah,
she acted like half the time, right? Exactly. She wanted to come to the parties and all that. But so like, see, exactly, like you're like that to me should have been it was a red flag. Like that your mom's coming to the parties and getting wasted and y'all are like hanging out and talking about things I would never ever talk to my mom about. And with language, like with language I would never talk to my parent. Like, yeah, so those are definitely, pay attention to how the relationship is, whether it's with his mom, his dad, even siblings.
Yeah, because I mean, my relation, I didn't know my first boyfriend's family, but my ex, like, yeah, they had like one of those like really codependent, let's do everything together, to the point that when I kind of wanted to separate myself from that, he started lying to me
about spending time with his family.
I remember he would tell me he was going to go to work on the weekends, but in reality he was going to hang out with his family behind my back.
That's so crazy.
Because I just started expressing my feelings about how I wanted some kind of like boundaries. He was like,
right,
yeah,
you should have boundaries with
and
your
they're
family.
still like that. Like my daughter tells me that they're still like that.
Well,
super codependent.
I guess the only other thing I have on that front is the boyfriend that I said I isolated. I'm back to that. Like, this kind of ties in. I think it was like really easy for me to do that because his mom had been like, he was living with his dad. His mom had kind of been, I mean, she wasn't like completely absent, but she had some struggles. So he was kind of probably looking for some like nurturing mommy kind of vibes. So that probably made
sounds like he let you control him.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's probably why a lot of the things I did to that poor boy was easy. Now that I'm older and see that.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't have my dad around when he passed away. He didn't have his mom just because she was off doing stuff she shouldn't be doing. So we filled those needs with each other 100%.
100%.
All right. Another potential red flag is sexual partners. I think that's something not everyone wants to disclose, but when you're in a relationship, I feel like everyone typically asks, like, how many people you've been with.
But is it really a red flag?
I mean, I
think 300 people's a red flag.
Yeah.
200 people's a red flag.
Someone my husband knows, I don't remember the number, but I do remember he told me once, like his guy friends, and I was just like, really? I just would not feel very safe being like, first of all, to me, if you've had a lot of sexual partners, that makes me think you're not probably in this for a relationship. I mean, people can change, but it's going to make me nervous that you're just here for a quote unquote good time.
Yeah, but those people that are sleeping with all those people, I'm not I have a really low number, guys. I'm literally being devil's advocate here. I just think that, but no, because those sound like one night stand situations and he's here for a relationship.
I mean, yeah, but if you find out early on and you, like, I'm talking about what if you, because you haven't done like much online dating or if any at all.
Ever.
So I did. And so sometimes that would be a question before you met somebody. So I'm saying, how do you know if you're in a relationship with them or not? Like, because sometimes you talk to, like, for example, my husband now, we were literally conversing over text or video calls for 4 months because I was out of the country when we met, right? So he knew that before he met me, but he didn't know if I was going to be there forever or not.
Yeah, but you act like your number's like some fucking gigantical, you're a worthless piece of shit.
No, and my number's not high, but compared to my husband, it was. And he's actually the one who told me that it was a little red flaggy for him. But he got married really young and pretty much had only been in serious relationships for the most part. Like, so he doesn't have my number is bigger than his. But
I think it's just like,
I was going through stuff. I was like having the college experience with a broken heart.
I just feel like we've also, and we've come to a place in our lives and everybody really thinks that, I think that we've given sex less importance.
Yeah.
To me, it's still very important.
That's true.
To me, it's still, I have feelings for you. I care about you. So I feel like things have changed. So I feel like high numbers don't really red flag me anymore unless they're like 100.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not talking, well, I don't want to say
Over
a number,
50 maybe.
but yeah. I don't mean like, oh, I've had like, 5 relationships, 5 people I dated enough that we got to there, and that's like, we're talking bigger numbers.
Yeah, okay, because I'm like, that's...
Not like a handful. I don't even think my number is a red flag.
No. Not for your age anyway.
My husband might not agree with that, but to me,
Well, he married you, so
I know
he
it's
needs to
too
shut the
late.
hell up.
It's too late for him.
Nobody cares that you didn't sleep with anybody because you were a nerd.
Mental instability. So really, I put this here because honestly, every single person probably has something going on.
I think
Something, but obviously there can be some extremes that's a red flag.
I think mine was I think in the 8 years of healed, I think if I wouldn't have healed it, I don't think I wasn't dateable.
Would you say the fact that you didn't really want to live with anyone would fall under, does that have anything to do with like your
mental health
from trauma?
Absolutely.
Would you put that in that category?
I think so. I can't be normal.
And being a loner?
I mean, yeah. I think that me not wanting to cohabitate with someone is not normal. And I think we've tried normalizing it. I think we've been brainwashed to normalize, let's single girl, no. I feel like it's not normal. And I feel people want to live with people. People want to be in relationships with people. And I definitely do think that. I think that, and I think it's a red flag. I don't want to live with anybody ever, guys. That's it's a major red flag.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just feel like my mental health was a huge red flag. But now that I've been dating someone here recently, therapy works, people. It does, because now I don't feel how I used to feel.
Right.
I feel
because you've worked on something else that you've worked on that falls into that is like your self-love and your self-worth.
Yeah, and now I know, and now I trust myself, and I know that, like we were talking last night about Snapchat and stuff, and he's like, I deleted my Snapchat when we started dating because I just wanted to avoid any kind of like, I guess, walk away from temptations or whatever. And I was like, if you have it, I don't give a fuck. I was like, you can do whatever you want. If you're gonna do something to me, you're gonna do it. I'm not gonna sit there and think about it. I don't give a fuck. But once I find out, I'm out.
Right.
But I'm not gonna stalk you. I'm not gonna like question you. But I feel like my mental health is better. But at some point, I wouldn't have dated me, and I wouldn't date somebody like that.
Yeah.
Work on yourself and come home later.
Yeah, and I think there's something else you noted. Being needy under mental instability.
No,
I would put that there too. And I was actually just listening to a different podcast that Nancy recommended to me called The Adult Chair.
So good.
And I don't know if you've been on this episode. I think it's episode, 11 or 12. And it's about codependency.
I'm almost there.
Okay. And it was basically talking about how kind of depending on your relationship with your parent, like if you didn't get enough attention from them, that might make you be.
No, absolutely. I don't think we got enough attention. And, I mean, I feel like
for sure.
I was needy AF.
But I think that's, like kind of what we said before, like, just please look at me.
Yeah.
That can, you know what I mean?
Look at your fucking kids.
Another part of the mental instability, this is a red flag from my husband. He didn't know, it was too late for him. He was already in here. But I have a really hard time letting stuff go. And that just goes back to my, like, mental.
Mm-hmm.
And
she does.
It's like I will hold on to stuff. Like, we've probably literally had one argument since
it's not even important.
We've been together 10 years. One argument.
You call me at 3 o'clock in the morning and cry about it.
And I feel like I've let it go, but I'm not. I'm really not sure. I don't know.
Well, no, you haven't.
I'm telling you, I'm about to start therapy. We'll have an episode on this later, but I'm just gonna make a big old list, because when somebody's like, "What do you need to work on?" I'll be like, "Okay, here's my list." There's a lot, but the thing about that, if someone's has some mental instability, but they're telling you, "Hey, I'm going to therapy, I'm getting help," then that, that lessens the red flag for me. That, because everybody has something, whether you realize it or not. But if you're going to work on it, then,
Yeah, absolutely.
This next one came from me. I don't know if you have a story for it, but somebody who brags about their reputation. I guess this could be many different things, but I'm thinking specifically of this guy I dated. And one of the first things he said to me was, "You should probably run because I'm an asshole." and like, but he said it very braggy, like, and like all, like he literally, this is back when that game Halo, and maybe Halo's still a big deal. I don't know if Halo's a big deal, but like, they'd have nicknames and stuff on there, and like, and people in the friend group referred to him as like the asshole. Like he was very like proud of that.
Oh my god, he was an asshole though.
Yeah, I know. But like if you're bragging about it and that's your nickname, like if somebody's calling out their true colors right in front of you, that's a red flag. I should have been like, you know what?
He sounds like a guy that would talk in third person.
Oh my gosh. I don't think he did, but the next part kind of goes into it, like a domineering personality, like somebody who wants to literally be in control
That
of
was us.
I know. So we had it, we're guilty. And we definitely had it to us in round two. Like I
but
think
they did it better than us because we flat out said no, you can't do that. But they actually fucked our brains so good that we thought that we were doing it because we wanted to.
They were manipulating.
They were great. They were really good at it. We were just bitches.
No, you're right. We were like,
just quit the team. You can't go. But they were like brainwashing us into thinking that that's what we wanted.
Yes, because we were just kind of upfront about it. Like, this is not okay with me, and I need you to stop. Okay.
Yeah. And if you don't stop, it's over.
And these people, and
people are like, I don't want you to stop that.
Yeah, like they definitely people who can like plant little seeds here and there, make you think things are your idea, all that kind of stuff.
That is manipulating.
Yes, that definitely falls into that. But I think it's so interesting that, I mean, you kind of mentioned this before, like how basically our first relationship, everything got flipped on us in our second one. And I think a lot of that came from, we felt bad. Like
I deserved it.
I think we'd grown enough to realize we screwed up.
I fucked up.
Right? But it's so wild to me that we couldn't see that happening to us after we just did it to somebody.
No, yeah. And because they did it better.
You're right. They did a good job. So yeah, if you start noticing like you had an idea to do something and suddenly your idea changed, like we kind of talked about before, how I used to think I would have children one day. I
think he manipulated you out of it.
My second boyfriend did not want to have children and probably planted all these little seeds about children are expensive, children are needy, children are this and that. Who knows? But I still think too it was 10th grade child development, and I had to watch the.
I'm sorry. When I met you, children were still on the table. At the end of that relationship,
did we talk about it?
Yes, we did. And at the end of that piece of shit, kids were off the table.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, everything happens for a reason, But I do think that he did that.
Well, yeah. Gaslighting. Wow, this probably should have been number one. Although back in our day,
that didn't exist, but it was happening.
We didn't call it gaslighting.
What the fuck did we call it? Nothing.
Manipulate.
I don't know, but it was
flipping it. I think I used to say, "You're flipping it on me."
Yeah, and it always happened to me.
Me too. You go first.
Everything, like every single. I mean, I think one time I found some. I don't want to go into detail, but I found stuff in his room.
Mm-hmm.
That was not of a man who was in a relationship.
Right.
And it just somehow got flipped over to me. Always. Every single thing. Like, so if we would get in an argument, he did something bad to me, I would be having to beg him to talk to me.
Right. Like he screwed up, but it was your fault.
He would ignore me until I would beg him. He would literally withhold seeing me.
Yes.
Not call me, not text me, until I had to beg for him to come back when he's the one that did that to me. But I will say therapy works. I had a moment the other day when I thought I was being gaslighted. I really wasn't being gaslighted, but I thought I was. And I just got up and left.
Oh. Do I know this story? You have to tell me.
The dip story.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just literally got up and left.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And not even in a crazy I was just I think I'm gonna go now.
Yeah.
And I just was and then I was so proud of it. And I walked out of there like a person. Not like usually I would have ran out crying like
a teenager.
Yeah.
I mean, your adult self was here.
My adult chair was on. It was there. I was just no. And I walked out. So therapy does work, guys. I recommend therapy all the way if you have issues like this, because it really does help. I don't feel that way anymore.
Yeah.
I put myself first. I was I think I'm being gaslighted and I'm not going to stand for it.
Yeah. No, that's good. I
Yeah.
was really proud of how you handled that situation. Yeah, for me, like the specific, I mean, there were probably tons, but the specific instances I remember of like gaslighting was, for example, back when MySpace was a thing. And if you're not old enough for MySpace, you're probably not old enough for this podcast.
Go
but,
away.
Back when MySpace was a thing, my boyfriend at the time gave me, I don't know if I specifically said, hey, can I, you know what, now I'm thinking this could have been manipulation. Maybe he wanted my password, so he gave me his. I never thought of that.
Oh my God.
But of course we both had each other's passwords, so probably it was a tactic since he was deleting stuff. Because you could send messages just like you can on Facebook, you know, back and forth in MySpace. And there was this girl that he knew from like, I don't know, middle school, high school or something. And she would always put really flirty things like on his page so everyone can see. And eventually I was like, this is not really cool. I don't feel comfortable with this. Like we're dating, like we are official. And she's like being like really flirty or like right in, like I don't like it. So I noticed that stopped happening, but I had his password. So they were just doing it. First of all, why were people not just texting? Maybe texting wasn't big enough yet.
No.
So they were doing it like in the messaging on MySpace, and he had deleted like all the individual messages, but forgot to delete the thread that had all the messages.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, dude, what are you like, what's going on? And then he got so mad at me for finding out, like, why are you snooping? Why you know stuff? Like, you gave me your password. What do you mean? But it was my fault.
But why are you snooping? Why don't you trust me?
Exactly. Well, because you're a big red flag, sir.
But that's whose fault?
But
we're the problem here.
Yeah, but the other one was when I went with him to his job one day. Like it was on the weekend, but he needed to do something for a class, and he left me in his office, and he was like, you know, here's my computer. Because again, phones weren't like what they are now. We were probably still on a like flip phone situation, and he was just like, here, hang on my computer, get on Facebook, you know, what Facebook, MySpace, whatever, do whatever
I
you want.
trust you.
Yeah, exactly. Do whatever you want to do. And you know how like on a desktop computer, there's like little icons, and I noticed one looked like a picture, and I'm like, oh, it's not a picture.
Why did you look?
I thought maybe it was a picture of me. I thought it was me. I mean, the icon is like this. Well, y'all can't see me, but I mean, it's small, like the size of a watch face or smaller. I could see,
smaller.
yeah, I couldn't tell what it was. I could tell it was a picture, and I was like, oh, maybe it's a picture of us. How nice. Because, you know, he didn't have, like, picture set up, not like that kind of desk. So I clicked it, and I'm like, oh, this is him and a girl at that party he told me he had to go to, like, 2 Sundays ago when he couldn't spend time with me because it would have been rude not to go because it was, like, he was somehow friends with the dad. And then the dad had, like, a daughter who was, like, our age. And she was, like, sitting on his knee, like, on his lap, basically. And it was just, I think it was just the two of them in the picture, too, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it was.
And I'm just like, what the
You should have saved that
fuck?
picture.
I know, I should have. And I'm just like, what? And he's like, why are you looking at my stuff? I'm like, you literally told me, here's my computer, do whatever you need to do. Like, you're the idiot who left it on the desktop. But then exactly what Nancy said, then like, I'm like, okay, it's my whole weekend gonna get ruined. And so I would have to fix it. Even though he's the one that hurt
fix it
me.
already, and then you're potentially not going to see him next weekend.
Yeah.
Potentially at this.
If you piss him off.
Yeah, if you piss him off.
It's like they had so much power.
Yeah, they did. Fucking
God.
assholes. Scorpio people.
Yes, they're both Scorpios, of course. So the next one is lying. I put lying / cheating. I mean, they are different, but if they'll lie to you.
No, I don't think I've lied before. And
depends on what kind of lie. Like if you lie, like who you're hanging out with, then it's somebody else. I guess I was linking it like that. But yeah, you could lie about little things, and that doesn't mean you're going to be a cheater. But like if you're lying about who you're spending time with and where you're at, those to me tend to lead to you'll cheat too.
I think cheating. I think the only. I feel like cheating to me is unacceptable in this point of life. And in this point of my life, I don't judge people for staying when people have cheated on them because I've stayed, and I don't judge people that are married, especially. Like if you want to save a marriage, you've been married for 10 years. You know, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Go ahead and save that marriage or whatever. But for me, on a personal level, I feel like the second that I feel you've betrayed our relationship, I'm out.
Yeah, and especially and I think the red flag of it all, because I guess most people don't go around being like, yeah, I'm a cheater. But like if it's especially if you have some context about this person before you start dating, and they're kind of known as a cheater, that's a red flag. Or what you had mentioned before was if someone is cheating with you and then you think, oh, well, he'll never do this to me.
Oh, yeah. If you're the side hoe, And I've been a side hoe, no judgment. So I feel like, yeah, I don't think that he was going to be loyal to me because I'm special.
Right.
I'm different.
Yep. Exactly.
I'm the love of his life.
Yeah. Speaking of, well, because I was thinking of when you were talking about you were the side hoe to somebody you'd been with before.
I also saw the side hoe to the other guy that lied to me about being married, remember?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that one. Oh, man. Okay.
Yeah.
And I was
Those are my only two side hoe situations.
Who knows how many times I was a side hoe? Who knows? To my knowledge, no one ever said to me, except when I was messing around with my ex-boyfriend who he was with somebody and I didn't know. We weren't dating, though. We were just...
That's a side hoe.
I know. But to me, side hoes get little dates sometimes.
No, I mean...
That's a mistress.
That's a fucking mistress,
gotta be upgraded.
Bitch. That's an upgrade.
That's an upgrade.
That's a girl that has an apartment, cell phone.
Yeah, I was just meeting you.
No, we're just meeting
downtown for a little fun.
In a parking lot like a cheap whore.
Yeah, all right. That's fair.
That was us.
All right. And then we're both with exes. Well, we both had a situation with exes.
Yeah.
And that brings us to the next one, what is about like how they speak about an ex. I think you had noted this, but I had a note more around when I was first with this guy, and we were on a trip with friends. He wanted to make sure that we took pictures like posing together and looking all like cute and happy because he wanted to put them on social media so his ex would see them. Like that should, I'd be like, I do remember thinking like, this doesn't feel quite right. And then, I ignored it, of course.
You're like, I love him.
But I think you noted more about like how they talk about.
Yeah, like I hate people that are like, that trash their exes.
Mm-hmm.
Like even right now, like I when I started this whole thing that I'm in right now, I pretty much, like he doesn't know anything about my ex.
Yeah.
At all. And he's not,
Yeah, like we're talking about our exes right now and we're kind of trashing them because they're but we mean like if you're talking to your new partner.
Yeah, like I just feel like, and I'm not trashing. I don't feel like we're trashing. I feel like we're talking about our experience.
We're saying facts.
We're saying facts.
Honestly.
But you know what? At the end of the day, whose fault was this?
Yeah.
Our fault. We didn't love ourselves enough and we didn't have any knowledge of ourselves enough to be like, you know what, this ain't it.
Yeah.
But I just feel like people that are like instantly start talking, oh, she was a bitch. Oh, she did this. Oh, she's keeping the kids from me. Shut the fuck up, Brittany. Like, go home and get your shit together.
Yeah.
You're like, I hate that. I hate when people talk about their exes.
Because too, if you still have that much like animosity towards your ex, you're probably not ready for a relationship.
You probably need to get back together.
Yeah, you're not over them yet.
Yeah,
you haven't worked through this.
You know, I was a red flag because when I started dating my second, I was still talking about my first.
Oh, I was too.
Hard.
I was too. I wanted to be with the first one.
Me too.
For the longest time.
If I could have went back to the other one and shit. Yeah.
I would have too. And I think the second one was was worried about that. And I'm like,
he actually mentioned it.
Better hope he don't come around.
He said the other day, he's like I had a dream about you and the one that traumatized you. Oh. And I was like, oh, okay.
A red flag is if they speak poorly about you to others, and you may not.
How will we know that?
I was gonna say you may not. Sometimes people could do it right in front of you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If they're, depending on who the person is, but like for me, for instance, and it's hard because you have mutual friends, and obviously you talk to your friends about stuff, but he would say like, especially like if we had a trip together and if I had complained on the trip or whatever, and then he'd go like, oh, I'm never taking a trip with her again. Oh, she didn't said X, Y, Z. And then I found out you said all that. So you're talking crap about me. You could have just went and said, oh, we didn't have the best time. Did you have to tell every single detail of everything and make me sound like an animal? Maybe I am an animal.
I mean, I feel like that happened to me too, because I feel like my ex and his family would talk shit about me behind my back.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, you may or may not be privy to that, but I do think some people would say stuff in front of people if they think they control you enough. So, yeah. Also, how they treat others, like how my ex at my birthday party literally called Nancy a bitch.
He did.
Like,
I'm so working on forgiving her.
Oh, I didn't do it, but
you allowed that to happen to me.
I couldn't control what he said.
Shut the fuck up. That's what you say.
But I could have been like, excuse me, why would you say that about my friend? Like,
I feel like at this point, my biggest red flag, I will not be with anybody who's going to be rude to anybody that I love.
Yeah.
If you have a personal problem with somebody that I love, then you address it with me, and then I'll be like, hey, my significant other wants you to tone it the fuck down.
Well, to me, not only that,
He hated me.
I don't want to. I don't want to see you treat anybody like that, whether it's my friend or not. Like if you're just going around calling people stuff, like, and like nothing even happened.
He just did not like me because I saw his evil from a mile away.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, that's something I would never ever tolerate again. And I mean, I'm sure he and I did talk about it, and I let him know that I didn't like that, and I'm sure he didn't give any fucks about it.
Yeah, I mean,
he's a jerk.
I hated him from the minute I saw him.
Another thing, and this might, I mean, I guess this could happen even if you live close to someone, but I'm thinking of it from like a long distance perspective, because, you know, we had a long distance relationship, but my ex was always willing, not often, I mean, I could count on my hand how many times it happened, so it wasn't a lot of times over the 4 years we were together, but he would meet up with me sometimes to, you know, hang out, mess around, but not to spend quality time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't see you much. Like, we could have done that fun stuff and also had dinner, but no,
or watched a movie.
Yeah, but there was no time for any of that. It was only time for
to get in and out.
Yeah, pretty much. So that's a red flag.
I feel like a sad hoe.
Oh, for sure. For sure it does. Yeah. So that's. Did you have any stories like that or no?
With when I was a side hoe, but then I was a side hoe, so.
Yeah.
But not with my ex, because I feel like we did do a lot together. A lot.
And y'all never met like halfway for
just for that?
Anything. I mean,
but we would do stuff.
Okay, I was gonna say, for me, I would say pretty much every time that happened, it was because I initiated, like, but it's because I wanted to spend time. Do you know what I mean? And that was the only way I knew it was gonna happen.
Sad how much how little you're willing to take when it goes back to your inner child situation. Like, that's why I feel like I try to like really fill my daughter's cup all the time. I probably do it too much because I feel like if somebody would have fucking noticed me when I was a little kid, then I wouldn't have let these piece of shit people manipulate me into thinking I was so worthless that all I deserved was to get boned in a car.
Yeah. Yeah. And you would expect more from people because you would be
like, you know more. What? No, thank you.
Yeah. Or because you didn't need more. Do you know what I mean?
No, yeah.
Oh, Lordy. Okay. The next one on the list, and we're at the end, we're coming to the end of our list here, but is addiction. And I put this on here based on, I mean, I have
not 1,400 addictions. I was a walking red flag.
Back from a few episodes ago, my soda, I'm just saying soda, my soda addiction, I don't know if that in its own is a red flag, but my husband might say otherwise, because there's definitely been times where like we would go somewhere, like we were like, if we were gonna have dinner out, and like my husband doesn't like to be like out at restaurants very much, so we'll get food to go. And if I was planning to get a drink, like we went to like a racetrack and like the soda machine was down.
Fountain drink. She loves a fountain drink.
I do love a fountain drink. And if the soda machine was down, we would have to go to another one. And then we did that, and then we went to it, and it was also the drink there was not working, and so it was just like I would have a meltdown over that. So that soda, it caused like our dinner to be like 30 minutes later, just because I really wanted a freaking soda. So like that's a problem. Do you know what I mean? But for me too, I was thinking like I dated someone briefly who smoked, and that was like a turnoff for me. But not only that, like.
But yeah, she let me smoke in her car.
But to me, well, that's because I had loved and accepted you, I guess. But I wasn't there with him. But to me, like but the problem with addiction, in my opinion, is people who are addicted to things are liars, and I know that because I'm one, and I lie. I'll be like, I'm not going to do X, Y, Z, and then I'll do it, or like, this is my last one. You know those, and then you lie, and then it starts betraying trust. Mm-hmm. And so like the guy I dated who's smoking, he's like, I'm going to quit. I'm like, don't quit for me. Like, you need to quit for you. And but he's like, no, I'm going to quit for you. I promise, I'm the last one. Next thing you know, I see you next weekend. Here you are smoking again. So you start breaking. I feel like people who have addictions break trust. Not that it's always a red flag, because it's not always, and people can change. And if people want to be done with something, Nancy's done stuff where she didn't want to be involved with that anymore. And so she like smoking. That's a huge one.
I smoked for 17 years. Today I am on.
Oh, you got a note? I love that.
I know. I have a countdown.
Oh, countdown. Okay.
308 days.
That's amazing.
Yep.
That is so amazing. I'm so proud of you.
I feel like addictions are a red flag, a big one, a huge. But to me, the only way I'm okay with accepting you with addictions is if you are literally accepted that it's an addiction.
Yeah.
Like you full blown now, you're not in denial. and you're working on it.
Yeah.
But that's all. That goes for very minimal addictions. I'm talking about cigarettes and alcohol.
Right.
But other shit, no.
Maybe some soda.
Soda, yeah, that's minimal. But I'm not talking about like
But
you're just gonna think about giving up meth. No,
Right.
girl, you gotta get the fuck out.
Yeah, that's a little bigger. That's a
But I
little.
mean, I've had addiction, so I have a lot of addiction in my family, so I feel like I don't have any room to judge, but I think it is a red flag.
Yeah.
For something deeper
Yeah.
you need to work on.
And if you're, like you said, you said something really important. If you're in denial about it being addiction, then you're not even close to being ready to work on it.
And then
That's a red flag right there.
That's gonna bring us down.
Yeah. Alrighty. Another one is how someone keeps their space. This could be their car. This could be their house. This could be like whatever. Like, to me, it's a really big red flag. Like, you don't have to be like the neatest person ever. But if you have stuff all over the place, if you have like dirty dishes in your sink from like weeks on it, like something, if you like, one that happened to me, I really was into this guy. This was actually the smoker. And I went to where he lived, and on his dresser, he had like 15 like cans, like cups. Like, I'm just like, what? Like, no, like, to me, that's a problem.
I feel like the home, yes. I think absolutely is a red flag with my car. My home is immaculate, like very clean. In my car 90% of the time. I feel like my car is my mind.
Okay.
And my house is really nice and clean and everything, but my car can definitely be, but my car's not dirty, it just has like a bunch of shit. Not trash.
Yeah. Well, and I will say, something to consider. It's different too when you have children.
Like, I have like
because you have stuff
and
for
shoes
them.
and tennis and ballet
Right.
and Cubs, and my daughter has a cup addiction.
Yeah, but I have one too.
So
but it's not like you're gonna have like hot sauce splayed all over the top of your dash or your seat. You know what I'm saying?
No.
There's a difference.
But I do care a lot. Like that. Like it's very important to me. Like, I just feel like the way that you, even if you're a guy, I feel like people think that because you're a dude that, like, oh, it's okay for my shit to be dirty. No, it's not, bro.
And I think that even when I say keep your space, like, I'm even talking about your body, like your hygiene.
No, my God, hygiene is
you're
so
gonna have
important to me.
Yes, if you can't take care of yourself, that's a red flag.
I mean, I've been there, and it was a red flag.
Oh.
I remember that one time.
Well, that mental instability. We're back to that.
When I didn't shower for a month because I was so depressed.
No.
So I was a red flag. Nobody should be dating me.
Well, you weren't dating then.
No, thank God.
You knew.
Nobody needed to be dating me.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus.
Yeah. We're down to the last two. Nancy and I have had, I don't know if I'd call it disagreements, but we had talked about this one, and I think we're in different places on it. But for me, what could be a red flag? I said relationships, but really I'm talking marriages. Like, how many times you've been married. And obviously, my husband's been married before, and to me, this man is just a green flag most of the way. So, like, it's not like if you've ever married before, period. But if you've been married multiple times, and especially if your marriages were like short, then to me that's a red flag that you don't even know who you are, and you don't get to know people, and you're just marrying them. Like, are you going to try to marry me in 2 weeks? Like, that's a red flag to me if you've been married too many times. Not if you've ever been married, but if you've been married multiple. I mean, I'm in my late 30s. If you've had multiple marriages and you've just not, I mean, maybe you've been really unlucky. I don't know. But to me, that was a red flag.
I don't even know why I have a different opinion on it because I've never even lived with anyone. So it's like, love bombing is the last one.
Yep, love bombing is the last one. And I'm trying to think if anyone's ever done this to me.
My ex love bombed me.
I'm not sure. Which one? Number one, number two?
Number two.
Okay.
Number two told me I love you like week 2.
Oh.
Yeah, he didn't love me. He didn't love me year 10.
He would love something.
Yeah, he did love something. He got what he loved. But yeah, I think love bombing is something like, I feel like if something's like, not everything that shines is gold, people.
Mm-hmm.
So I just feel like if somebody is like those people that come in so hard and they want to like just so hard, like I just feel like that flame's gonna like dry up real quick.
Yeah, I really don't think anyone ever loved bomb me. But
I have one last one that I just thought
okay,
of.
yeah.
Someone who's been abused their entire life is a red flag for me. And some people are not aware of it, so
Yeah.
but I'm sorry and I feel bad because it's not their fault they're being abused. But I just feel for me as a red flag because I'm a manipulator, domineering, crazy bitch who is in recovery, and I feel like I've made it there. But it's so easy to jump back into that role when someone is so willing
To be your victim,
to
kind
be
of.
my victim.
I mean, no, I
like,
get
that
that.
motherfucker like tied himself and then put himself in my closet.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't have to
Yeah.
do shit. And it kind of takes the fun out of it because my crazy loves to be a manipulating crazy bitch. But I feel like that is a red flag. Like for me, I feel like I'm strong enough, and I feel like I'm in therapy, and I know that I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna be that person again. And I feel like that's being tested for me right now, and it's been true. I'm very aware, and I even tell him, you're putting yourself in a position where I could literally ruin your entire fucking life right now.
Yeah, because I think what you said, even though you're in your like, I think it's really easy for both, for somebody who's kind of domineering and like in control of stuff, and someone who's been a victim. I think it's really easy to slip back into those roles when you're with somebody, especially if you feel comfortable and you trust them. Like next thing you know, you're back to being a different person again that you don't want to be.
But that's where it comes from. There, I'm very honest. I'm like, this is my crazy. This is your crazy. Let's not. Don't let me.
Right.
Don't do that.
Like you got to be able to stand up to me because
do not do that because
next thing you know,
we're no.
Oh, yeah. Well,
but therapy works. That's my takeaway.
Yeah. So work on yourself so you're not a red flag, and also so that you can see red flags in others and know if, because like we said, these are our red flags. Some of those things might not be a red flag for you for one reason or another, but I mean, who knows?
I think that for people right now that are in situations are similar to any of the things that we said, just know there is a way out.
Yeah.
You're going to be okay.
Yeah. Thanks so much for joining us today, and we'll catch you next time. Bye bitches. Yep.
Bye, bitches.
So true. Yeah, thanks for...
Okay. Bye.
She's like, I'm out.
Okay. We got to record that because you're going to fix it.